We are taught that modern professional life is collaborative and transparent, but society penalizes overt aggression. If someone wants power today, they cannot take it by force. They have to mask their ambition, their envy, and their maneuvers behind polite smiles and professional courtesy. To understand this dynamic, we look back to the old aristocratic courts. In places like Versailles, courtiers faced a delicate dilemma. Survival depended on outwitting rivals and reading hidden motives, without ever appearing power-hungry. That exact dynamic exists in today's office. You are expected to appear perfectly civilized, democratic, and decent. Yet behind the team player rhetoric, colleagues are often scheming to advance their own positions and push others aside. The primary vulnerability holding you back in this environment is the naive perspective. This is our biological instinct to trust surface appearances and take people at their word. If you want to advance, you have to move past this instinct. You must trade face value trust for a calculated, detached observation of the social information being sent your way. People use words to dress up their true motives. Language is the primary tool used to distract others from what is actually being attempted. We can map this gap using a comparison matrix, tracking what is spoken against the hidden reality. On the spoken side, we hear common cooperative phrases. Someone might say, "I'm just trying to help," or "let's collaborate on this project." When we reveal the hidden reality on the right, the picture changes. "I'm just trying to help" often disguises an attempt to exert control. "Let's collaborate" can be a smokescreen for a colleague trying to monitor your progress out of envy. Crossing this communication gap requires a specific trade-off. You trade the comfort of spontaneous emotional reactions for the cognitive load of constant behavioral decoding. Navigating these dynamics requires a starting defensive tactic, the counterbalance strategy. In the heat of any conflict, your mind naturally wants to react emotionally. The counterbalance strategy requires you to actively resist that pull by increasing your reaction time. We see this modeled by historical figures during periods of intense crisis. Franklin D. Roosevelt maintained detached calm despite a world war. Professionally, emulate this by leaving tense rooms or pausing a full day before responding. This forced pause prevents you from reacting to social friction personally. It allows you to view the situation objectively, as a strategic maneuver you need to handle. To gain clarity, you forfeit the immediate, temporary catharsis of lashing out or speaking your mind. Once you control your own emotions, you can start actively observing others, because no matter how good the facade is, true intentions often leak out through nonverbal cues. To spot leaks, use this checklist during interactions. Look for contradictions, shifts in voice tone, forced eye contact, or unprompted flattery. If a harmless front contradicts aggressive actions, believe the actions. Finally, check their response to sudden stress. Under heat, the mask falls off. In environments clouded by rumors, you apply the cui bono strategy, Latin for who benefits. You ignore the stated reasons for a policy change or a rumor. Instead, you look at the final outcome and trace it backward to identify who actually gains power or resources from the result. These analytical lenses are effective, but they carry a cost. They require you to assume self-interest is the primary driver of those around you, which can foster a more isolating, cynical view of your colleagues. To move beyond defense, some use offensive techniques to extract information. This starts with conversational suppression. This requires suppressing your own desire to talk about your thoughts or achievements. Instead, you use active listening to make the other person talk endlessly about themselves. As they relax and enjoy the attention, they drop their guard. This often leads them to inadvertently reveal hidden intentions or weaknesses. The most aggressive offensive tactic is mirroring or entering their spirit. You adapt to their moods, echo their values, and play by their rules. Reflecting their tastes lowers defenses and strokes their deep-rooted narcissism. These offensive tactics require constant emotional acting. They demand a high cognitive load and the total suppression of your own authentic self-expression in the moment. Maintaining this level of social vigilance and emotional acting is exhausting. It is unsustainable for daily life. To prioritize your cognitive energy, we can use this social energy matrix. The vertical axis tracks the stakes of the environment. while the horizontal axis tracks the intent of the person you're dealing with. If you are an overwhelmed professional playing defense, you are operating in the high-stakes competitive quadrant. Here, you only need to deploy the counterbalance pause and leakage checks. Your goal is simply to spot passive aggression early and protect your boundaries. For an ambitious optimizer playing offense, your profile stretches across the higher stakes quadrants. You must accept the exhaustion of conversational suppression and mirroring as the necessary cost of building alliances and securing power. But notice the bottom left quadrant. Neither profile should use these tools in low-stakes collaborative environments. True social intelligence includes knowing when you can safely turn the analysis off. You are ultimately faced with a choice. You can keep the ease and comfort of the naive perspective, or you can trade it for the security of reading the hidden motives driving those around you. No amount of strategy gives you complete control over the hidden agendas of the people around you. You cannot stop the maneuvering. But by choosing to read actions over words, you ensure that whatever the modern court throws at you, you are never playing the game blindfolded.